Managing the assets of your balance sheet is a way to ensure that your net income from your income statement is flowing through your operations without any bottlenecks or impediments on that cash flow. So let's take a look at a checklist on some of the items you need to think about in managing the assets of your balance sheet. Let me reduce my mug here and bring over a little checklist on managing your assets. For most small businesses, one of the biggest assets on your balance sheet is accounts receivable. Especially in today's environment of constricting cash flow, we want to make sure you have excellent accounts receivable management systems in place. The first step is making sure that you have set clear collection terms and set clear collection expectations with your customers at every point possible during the sales process. So up front, you want them to understand when you expect to be paid and how you expect to be paid. Then also you want to spend some effort on checking credit references for new customers. If it's a small transaction, you may not want to go through the process, but if this is going to become, if it is a big transaction and may become a repetitive customer, you want to make sure you're checking their credit references and their ability to pay you according to your terms. And next one is a hard one for a lot of small businesses. Don't be afraid to charge a late fee. If your customers go past due your payment terms, you can always credit that late fee back to them. But that's your first chance. The first time they go past due, that's your chance to show them that you're serious about getting paid according to your terms. Now, you can always repair any damaged relationships with a late charge assessment by just crediting that back, letting them know, hey, that's part of our automatic system. We want to make sure you're paying according to terms. We probably should have stopped that. We'll credit that back to you, but we want to make sure you understand that we expect to get paid according to the terms that we told you about during our sales process. That's just a commentary to make sure your customers understand you're not their bank. Here's a big one for a lot of small businesses, especially service-based businesses. Get your invoices out fast. When you've completed the service, make sure your customer has an invoice in their hand the day that you've completed the service. Don't allow it a day, 3 days, a week to go by before you're sending them an invoice for something that for value that you've already delivered in the past. Make sure they understand how much they owe you, when they owe it, the day that you've completed the service. Again, communicating your payment terms on your invoice, clearly making sure those are on your invoice, and then continue to inform them along the way through the process. You might have little reminders automatically go out when it's 10 days or 5 days prior to the invoice due date. Just to let them know, hey, the invoice is coming due. We want to make sure you have it. And if you don't have it, let us know so we can communicate with you. One thing you might consider on if you're in the business of large projects, consider having your customers finance your business. Maybe there's an upfront lump sum payment, 10%, 20%, 25%, to cover the cost of the product of the project, the actual physical product. Or maybe there's a payment up front to make sure that they're serious about working with you for you to be able to get started on this long-term project. And there may be milestones throughout the project where you expect to get paid another lump sum when the project's 25% done, 50% done, whatever the case might be. That's establishing milestone payments. And again, allowing your customers to help you finance your business. If it's standard in your industry, go for it. Make sure you're using those, taking advantage of those types of terms. Making sure you're monitoring your accounts receivable. Someone in your business has to be responsible for monitoring the aging of your receivables so that you're reminding your customers who are past due, hey, we expect to get paid. Want to make sure you got the invoice. Was there any problem with the service or the product? What can we do to help you move this process along? Set minimums for invoicing. That would be a situation where you have a warehouse where you're shipping product on terms, but you also have a walk-in part of your business. If a sale is under $100, your term should be payment on the sale, payment on sale. Otherwise, you can put some terms on maybe larger purchases on walk-in business. Deposit your money quickly. Don't let allow checks to sit around your office or in somebody's locked desk drawer. So those are some of the things on accounts receivable. The next biggest asset on most small businesses' balance sheet is inventory. If you're in a product-driven business, you want to make sure you're managing your inventory, managing the turnover in your inventory, because that's just cash sitting on the shelves. How many times can you turn the inventory over in a year to turn that cash that you've already spent on that inventory, turn that inventory into cash so it's flowing through your operations? That also goes back a little bit to our gross profit analysis. Always looking at your vendors, looking at getting more quality inventory so you can turn it over quicker, looking for vendors who will get you closer to real-time purchasing so that as your minimum inventory levels in your warehouse hit, you can place an order and they get it to you quickly. So you can continue to reduce the time that inventory is sitting on your shelves, increasing that turnover. That's a little bit about managing the assets on your balance sheet. If you found this information useful, you'd like some more information on managing and improving cash flow, click the link below to get our full PDF or go to our